Good evening. He was a little Jamaican boy. He had a thick accent, a strong, witty personality. He was happy and content being poor, safe, and loved. Just before his 4th birthday, he ended up in Grady Hospital for a 3-week stay, recovering from multiple severe burns and fractures. His mouth wired shut because his jaws were broken. All of these injuries were inflicted by his father and allowed by his mother. After being released from the hospital, he was placed in foster care with strangers, future uncertain. That little boy's name was Renique St. Orvin Bailey. His street name was Sergio. That little boy was me. Everything I'm not makes me everything I am. I have learned not to think that I'm perfect, but aim to be. As I look back over my life, I see nothing but pain and suffering, being abused by my biological parents and receiving injuries that no child should sustain. I stayed in foster care since the day I left Grady, November 5th of that year, and was adopted by my foster parents, Lodge and Lillian Wallace. Since the day I was placed in their care, I have never wanted for anything. They have supported me 100% in everything and have encouraged me to give 100%. They have, since day one, accepted me as their son and not their adopted son. Although I've had a strong support system and a stable home, that still did not stop me from having those periods of time of feeling rejected by the world. That was something I alone had to work through and have finally found peace. I had to make my environment a product of me. So I surrounded myself by people who I thought would compliment me and teach me better morals of life. And that is where the Newnan Boys and Girls Club has played a major role in my life. In my younger years of growing up, I was easily accepted by my peers because I allowed myself to be. I was outgoing and I was always the first one to make a move, very confident. As I became older, my peers became more critical and less accepting. For the first time, I felt different. I became insecure, had low self-esteem, encased myself in a shell, became less vocal and antisocial, all because of a few scars. The same scars that I'm learning to embrace that make me who I am. I have been attending the Newnan Boys and Girls Club since the 1st grade. The club has become a second home to me. It has allowed me to surround myself with great mentors, such as former Executive Director, Mr. Darrell Smith, Executive Director, Ms. Lauren Odom, and Assistant Director, Mr. Darrell Mason. The club has allowed me to volunteer at Camp Kiwanis, where I was able to see my former self in some of the campers. The club also let me participate in oratorical, which pushed me out of my comfort zone and allowed me to publicly speak. The club also provided me with my first job as a junior staff, which challenged me and taught me leadership responsibilities. There is no other organization that I'm proud to be a part of and that I plan to give back heavily when I'm older. Who am I? I've really never told my story before, but I realize now that I had to speak on it to accept the dark part of my life is not what defines me, but was part of my journey that was necessary for me to develop into the person that I am today. And will ultimately help me determine my purpose in life moving forward. What is the bottom line? We all have a story which is significant to our development. I think we all have strived or are striving to be accepted in some way, some more than others. But the key is first, to accept where you are, to determine who you are, accept where you have been, although it may have been dark, forgive and move on to be the person that you know you can be. In this world, you have to separate your reality from your dreams. I was once asked by someone the question, who are you? This person was no stranger to me. I have known him for years, an adult mentor. He was actually the former executive director of the Newnan Boys and Girls Club, Mr. Darrell Smith. I was not able to answer his question, and I was quite puzzled about it. I'm still not able to answer his question in its entirety, but this I do know. My name is Sergio Wallace. I'm a proud member of the Newnan Boys and Girls Club. I'm intrigued by science and math and plan to study robotic engineering at Kennesaw State University or Georgia Tech. No, I'm still working on the answer, but remember this, my name, Sergio Wallace. When I'm finished with my journey, not only will I know who I am, but you will too.